Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Park and Rec Commission meeting on Wednesday, February 26, 2025. My name is Jim O'Connor. I am the chair of the Park and Rec Commission. We will go around and introduce ourselves. Maddie?
Yep, Matt Shaw.
Bill Nicoletti.
Debbie Davis.
Steve Besputa.
Jack Pritchard.
Allison Korea.
Dan Lynch.
Okay, we will start with a call, obviously the call to order. Next thing is public dialogue with no public in attendance. We will move first to approval of minutes, the January minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the January minutes?
So moved.
Okay, we have so moved. Steve, second. Deb, Deb's a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approved unanimously. I abstain, I wasn't here. Okay. We're perfect on that. Let's go next to old business, questions from previous meeting. Dan, do you want to just take that during yours? Let's,
Yep.
okay, we'll do that.
Got
New
it.
business, grounds and facilities. Steve?
I have nothing to report. Besides, we finished the video for the
Oh, exciting.
pool. Chris, did you edit it?
We're in the process of editing it now.
Okay, so it will be ready at a future date.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Steve. And personnel, right now, it's obviously a lull time, so we don't have anything to add right now on personnel. And if there is anything to add on personnel, Dan will do that during his report. Budget, let's take a minute just to look through the monthly budget, peruse it as usual. So we are, what are we, over 50% now, Danny?
Yep.
Yeah, about 50, we're about probably 60%, right? 70%? Yeah, 70%. So we should be at the 70%. It looks all about that, if you guys see it. Looks good. Anything you see that's,
No,
You're
at this
good?
point, no.
You
We're-
feel
right now we're
safe?
good, yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And
Any
if there ever,
questions?
if there ever is a problem, we always have, some room if we have to transfer stuff.
Okay.
As we get closer to the end of the fiscal year. In terms of budget, I mentioned it at the last month's meeting, we had our finance budget meeting at the beginning of February. Presented in front of, the finance committee as well as the finance director. So once we get that report back, with all the approvals and first selectman's approval and then the Board of Finance approval, I will pass it along to you
Thank you, Dan.
as well.
Okay, with that being said, let's just go into your director's
Sure.
report.
Yep, okay. All right, that's my first thing on my report, is we had that budget presentation on February 7th, right here, with the Board of Finance and the Finance Director. Gave my yearly report for our budget, which is pretty much the same. I mean, a lot of things are going up for supplies and so forth for our department, so I did have some line items that needed to be increased in terms of grounds and the pool. And also, we put together our capital planning. I brought Chris Small with me as well. There's some work he wants to do down in Roach Field and Brindley and Stanky Field down at Old Tavern. They desperately need some work. Obviously, we've done work on Brindley and DeGenero in the past. Stanky and Roach are next, and it's a lot of work needs to be done. And he presented it right in front of the board, and it was perfect because they had some questions and he's pretty fluent on all that stuff, so it was good. It worked out well. I think we should be good, I hope, but, because those fields desperately need it. So we presented the capital planning as well. Bill Kraut, who is now on the board, he's on the Board of Ed. As well, he called me the other day about the basketball courts. He came out and did some measurements as well. That's another item that's up as well. And he also, suggested to us, as well as Bob Britton, our engineer for the town, the tennis courts that we had done, it's probably been about 5 or 6 years. They just need to be maintained, so we don't lose them down the road. Have some kind of maintenance plan, so he works for R&S Sports, Bill Kraut, which is in Oxford. They did the work on our courts. He works for them. He's in that tennis, court business. So he was out there again measuring and telling us what needs to be done. He's gonna give us a quote on that maintenance that needs to be done on those tennis courts, because those are in very good shape still, and I wanna keep it that way. So he was working on that as well. So in terms of budget and capital planning, that's where we stand as a department.
Would that be something that we could probably cover from, say, our rentals?
Yes,
Would be, yeah, so that'd be good.
even
Yeah.
if we have to combine it with something, so we don't
Good.
take everything out, we combine it with another line
That
item.
would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, other than that, into parks, like,
Thinking the tennis court maintenance, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
The basketball court.
No,
The basketball
just the
courts are-
tennis court, because this is something that we should probably be doing every 2-3 years, just to stay ahead of it. That, we want to stay ahead of it, and if we have somebody that is like in town like that, so we can continue to stay ahead.
yeah, he's a good resource to
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
It's good.
that's
No, he helped
awesome.
us at Pawcaset, he's great,
Yep.
he's great.
In terms of the parks, the weather this week has been great. Obviously, ice skating is not great. So in terms of that, the recent weather has not allowed for ice skating. Prior to that, we had plenty of ice skating. I have a programs report as well as an aquatics report. I'll go through those quickly. Youth Basketball League is down to the last 3 weeks, believe it or not. The year is flying by. The older leagues are heading into playoffs this coming Saturday. The younger leagues don't have playoffs, the 7 and 8 boys and girls. They continue their season, have 3 weeks left as well. The 6-week Ski Bums program concluded Friday, February 14th. We had 80 children that participated in the 6-week program. Special thanks to Sue and her staff for another successful season of skiing up at Mount Southington. Registration has begun for the April vacation camp. I'm pretty sure that's almost close to being filled. If you are interested in that at home, I believe there might be 1 or 2 spots, but I would check online or check with our office tomorrow. The fitness room at High Plains continues to be open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We do have something new I want to announce. We are starting camp registration earlier this year. We get a lot of calls on it. People like to plan their summers early. Just so for those at home, and it's on our website as well, all our information. Day camp registration will begin on Monday, March 3rd. We usually do it in April. We're starting a month earlier this year. March 3rd for day camp for residents of the town, and traveling teams will be on March 17th for residents of the town. So, and camp, as long as the schedule stays as is, camp will begin on Monday, June 16th. It goes 8 weeks through August 8th. All right, aquatics report, Sue put together for us. I'll quickly go through it. Lessons for session 5 began on Monday, the 24th of February. Amity boys swim team has finished their dual meet season and are training for the SECs and the Class Double Ls in March. They had a great season in spite of their small team size and should have some good swims at the championships. The ARAC Swim Club and WAC Swim Club had their championship meets at the pool at the end of January and the beginning of February respectively. Both meets were well attended. Team boards, parents, and coaches did a great job with busy weekends. Sue is starting a lifeguard training class tomorrow, and we'll have one more later this spring. There will also be 2 recertification classes in March and May for all current lifeguards as well. She marked down her ski bums thing. Information, I already went over that, thanks to her as well. And on a sad note, Sue is going to retire. She put that in her report. I wanted to bring it up to the meeting tonight. She gave her notice to First Selectman Jim Zioli. And after 32 years, 25 years full-time, 7 years on part-time, she says it's time. So at this time, I mean, we'll have something for her as the months go by, and looks like she'll be leaving either at the beginning of the summer or at the end of the summer, pending on her time time off and things like that. She has to work out with that, with her vacation and sick time. So I will keep you updated on that as well. But thank her for her years of service here to the town of Orange, not only as an aquatic supervisor, but she's done a lot of other things in our department.
Yeah.
She took over ski bums the last 3 or 4 years. She helps out our summer camp program, not as just aquatics, with arts and crafts and events and so on and so forth. Events in town she helps out with, country fair, et cetera. Been around a long time. Her family was here through her high school years up through adult years, and she's been a big fixture with our Park and Recreation Department. So I'd like to thank her for her years of service, and we will have something for her here at one of our meetings as we get closer to the summer.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, we all ditto that on Sue. She's been an immense part of this community and the Park and Rec department over her 32-plus years. So we honor her and we wish her the best, and we'll have a lot more to say about that over the next few months, and we appreciate everything she's given to this town. So with that, thank you, Dan, and your comments. We also, tomorrow night's a big night for the Fred Wolf Park Committee. Dan, why don't you read that? You could read
Sure.
that.
Yes, tomorrow night at the High Plains Community Center in rooms 4 and 6, the community workshop number 2 for the Fred Wolf Park Master Plan at 6:30. High Plains Community Center, rooms 4 and 6. Please come, listen, and share your ideas regarding the future of the Fred Wolf Park plan.
So this is, we're getting closer and closer to finalizing the plan. And it's the master plan of Fred Wolf Park. So there's still a lot of it to be done. And this is really a vital point for the community input. And so anybody that's available and wants to have input, this is really one of those great opportunities to get your input in. So please come out if you have a chance. You also still can have input at other times, but this is a great point if you have some availability tomorrow night. It's been a process and it will continue to be. So thank you. Commission members, any comments or thoughts about anything Dan talked about or anything else? I'm pretty good. I think we've had, obviously, thank you, Dan, for the budget. Obviously, budget, everything is going up, so we appreciate keeping in line with the budget. And also with the capital, obviously, the fields are tough to go. We know from being involved in Fred Wolf, it's going to be an expensive venture to improve Fred Wolf, and we know that, and we're trying to be very aware of costs on that part as well. So we understand keeping Old Tavern going is an important piece of that puzzle. So I think, with that, obviously also with Sue retiring, all things always keep moving. And so we have to obviously find someone that's going to be the next movement of Orange and the next phase of Orange, because the pool is a very important piece of this. So growth is important. So with that, obviously, everybody have a great month. And do I have a motion for adjourn? Jack, second. Deb, all in favor? Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a great month.